With the 13th pick in the 1996 NBA Draft, the Charlotte Hornets select Kobe Bryant from Lower Merion High School in Pennsylvania.
What up, what up, what up? It's Three Brothers No Sense. I am Tavares Ferguson, a.k.a. Ferg, joined with my co-hosts, Buff and Razi. Fellas, today is Sunday. I think I'm going to tell people what's on your mind, man. Maybe just maybe 3-4 hours ago, we heard about the untimely passing of the Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant, and his daughter and some friends and family members. And so our heart goes out to the Bryant family and the family of all those involved. So, fellas, I'm going to turn it over to you guys. Tell them what's on your mind.
Not since, and Ferg, you brought this up jokingly, I think, last week, man. Not since Tupac died had I been in so much denial. And we're all in the same group me social media thing. And our buddy Mike, he was the first one to post it. And I think he posted something simple like, Kobe just died. And my mind's so far away from it being Kobe Bryant. I'm like, Kobe who? Who the hell are you talking about? I don't know Kobe. And so as more and more people start posting it, I'm like, y'all, this is fake news. Like, and I really did, because I went to TMZ. They did post Kobe Bryant. And then like 2 minutes later, they posted something about the Goo Goo Dolls. So I'm like, they must have been hacked. And then
not only that,
like business as usual. Like nobody was talking about
ESPN. It. I Googled, like I went everywhere.
Yeah.
And so
and when I Googled, I saw the 2012 hoax of him in the car accident dying. So I was like, oh, it's just another hoax. No big deal. Yeah,
the person that came up with Kobe Bryant when I Googled was the fact that LeBron James passed his scoring, I think, fourth on the scoring title last night. So that's all I'm seeing. I'm like, yeah, that just can't be right. You know, TMZ.
I'm like dying on a hill. I'm like, guys, it's fake. Like, what are y'all talking about? Wait for another source. Like, I'm fighting everybody. And then it slowly hit you, man. It came in.
It's surreal, man. I cooked for my family and my sister and my niece, and everybody came over, and that's the first thing they said when they walked through the door. And I think it hit my wife kind of hard. She's not even a basketball fan, but you know, that the average person from our generation, like if you don't know who Kobe Bryant is or kind of have some kind of connection with him, where have you been hiding? So I think he might be the GOAT of our young generation. You know, Kobe was 2 years older than most of us. You know, so I remember in high school growing up to Kobe and being early college. Kobe was that dude. You know, he was the second coming of Jordan in my world before the LeBron hype and stuff like that. So, man, it was tough.
It feels so unfair for her. Like, I feel like we just watched his last game where he put up 60 points and he was only 41. And it's like he didn't even get a chance to enjoy post-basketball career or anything like that. It just felt unfair. And then you hear that his daughter was a part of the crash. And I just watched the news conference. At first they were reporting 5 people. They said it was 9 people on board. So it's just... I don't know,
and even for the folks who like the Kobe thing didn't affect them, like Jenica, she was like, I don't know Kobe, no big deal. But then when she found out about his daughter, it hit her. And it was like, because, you know, she was what, 11, I think, or 13? She was 13.
I think 13, yeah.
Yeah.
13.
And like to somebody that died, I'm thinking about Haley dying in a crash or something like that. I mean, that would be crazy to think. So when you say prayers and thoughts to the Bryant family, I mean, losing a husband, a 41-year-old husband is bad, but losing a 13-year-old child is even worse.
Yeah, and that was crazy. You know, I was watching a video of her playing, and it was just, I mean, it's taken from us, you know, so soon, you know, and for his wife, her mother, you know, I can only I'm not even act like I can imagine. I don't even know what that would feel like, you know. So that's tough, man. But life,
to be respectful to the other people, we just happen to not know their names, but you know, thoughts and prayers to those families as well.
Everyone involved,
yeah,
in that whole community. Fellas, what's going on a lighter note? Anything good going on in your life?
Man, it's hard to follow up behind that, but I do want to say, This Is Us is still awesome.
I haven't seen the last episode.
Man, you got to watch the last episode.
No, I know.
Look, man, you can't be coming on here. It happened. It aired Tuesday. Like
I was traveling. I was traveling. I was out of town Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I won't give any spoilers. I won't give any spoilers, but I'll just let you know, man. They've been dealing with Randall anyway with, his anxiety and everything really and everything. They hit it really hard. And they actually brought up counseling and talking to somebody and everything like that. And so, I touched on it a couple times in the past, and I'll say it again, man. If there's anything that's weighing you down, if you're just running won't fix it. Like that's what Randall kind of said, that he kind of just runs and that's his thing, but it won't fix it all the time. So go talk to somebody if you need to talk to somebody, man. But the show is just awesome. I to this day, I tell people This Is Us is probably one of the best. Man, I don't know. It's one of the most well-written shows I've ever seen. Like, you just think you know what's going on. To be primetime television is just awesome. You just never. You never know what you're going to get. The characters have so much depth, even to the point where it's funny because I think I was one of my guy friends to watch it, and it was all like, "Man, Ferg, you so sensitive, what kind of crap?" I'm like, dude, watch that show. I think it's a great show to watch with, especially your spouse or the family members. You got siblings and stuff. It just teaches you to look at things differently. And I think that's the kind of reason when I look at stuff, even when we're talking on here, I try to look at the other person's point of view, because it's not always, your view is not always the reality of the rest of the world. So I will be watching that tonight. And also, if you guys have a chance to do a Netflix binge, what is the show? The Evolution of Hip Hop? Hip Hop
Evolution. Yeah, man.
Hey, man.
Season, for all that, 3 just dropped or 4? Is it? They're on
3. Thanks,
3. Yeah, but there's only 4 episodes per season, so you can binge all 3 seasons really quick.
Yeah. So, that's me, man. That was it. Just for everybody else, got in another accident. I don't get in accidents like that, and I got rear-ended last week, and then I rear-ended somebody this week. So that's the reason I went.
Were you texting Ferg?
Nah, man, I was just driving
too.
Nah, man, I was just driving, headed back home, and it's one of those busy highways. It's a tollway. Somebody slammed on brakes in front of me. I thought I could go around. I tried to go to the right and was going to end up sideswiping a car. So I decided not to do that and tried to brake instead. And I think me trying to go right is what probably threw off. Took away a fraction of the time and then gave me less time to react. So I ended up slamming on the brakes, and the rest is history.
Well, I'm just glad we're able to record, man. As y'all know, this impeachment trial had me busy all this week, and we try not to do it on Sunday and put all the work on Razi to edit the show, man. But I just appreciate you guys working with my schedule this week, man. I literally worked like 17 hours on Tuesday. And it's crazy when you get off on Thursday and you work 12 hours and you're like, man, it feels good to kind of get off early today. And it was like 9:45 at night.
Wow.
you felt fortunate because on Tuesday it was like 2:00 in the morning when we got out of there, man.
Man, that OT gonna be nice though, kid.
I'm waiting for it. Hey, this check lands on my birthday too, so I'm waiting.
Oh man, you might as well just fly us all up to DC.
Yeah, I wasn't complaining when I was talking about my heart. I just was letting y'all know. I want that check. I want it.
Oh man.
Since y'all didn't like my joke, I got a new one. Y'all.
Hey, let's do this. First of all, can you promise me you're not going to edit this one to make yourself sound funnier? So I'm putting it out there because people, he edited that.
Ferg was highly upset about that.
That's one. Two, if Sophie told you that joke, just let Sophie tell it. I'd rather just hear from Sophie.
Oh man, no, I saw it on Facebook, so it should be just as funny. All right.
If that's a joke, I'm good.
I am sipping right now, Razi, so you might get a laugh out of me. I got some Remy Tercet or Terce. I don't even know how to pronounce it yet. Okay. I just know it's expensive.
It's a simple joke. It's a simple joke, but so why did Mozart kill all his chickens?
I think I saw this joke actually. I forgot the answer, but
why?
I forgot.
If y'all can see his face and the confusion on his face. Hey, bro, please don't edit that out. Hey, man. You know what? Let's just pay some bills.
Love, exciting and new.
Hello, Hannah Waddingham here. Have you seen the fabulous new Sun Princess? World-class entertainment, exceptional dining, and the greatest pizza ever.
It's a love.
Don't miss our Come Aboard sale with up to 40% off and free room upgrades. Visit princess.com or call your travel advisor to book. Princess Cruises. Terms and restrictions apply. Offer ends 2/28/25. Ships to Bermudan and British Registry.
All right, people. We're back. And unfortunately, Razi remembers the end of the joke. So, Razi, it's on you. Okay. Do you want to start over?
I'll start over.
But you can't edit the first part. Like this has to be part of it.
Yeah, okay. That's fine. All right. So, why did Mozart kill all of his chickens?
Why?
Because he asked them their favorite composer, and all they said was "Bach, Bach, Bach, Bach."
You know, this is how the Joker was created first.
So bad. You know, this is so bad.
So we're gonna have to watch him.
Get it? Mozart, Bach.
I know Bach. Yeah, yes.
If he starts painting his face and wearing purple jackets, man, let me know.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Save us, Ferg. What you got, man? Go.
Oh man. Okay, so have you guys watched All American on Netflix?
Yeah. Well, I watch it on CW or whatever, so I watch it when it airs. Yeah.
So basically, it's a show. Taye Diggs plays his football coach, and he rescues. And I don't spoil it from Razi because I'm in the beginning. So he rescues this young man from Crenshaw who plays football, wide receiver, brings him to Beverly Hills to play football for him. It's a lot of adjusting for him, adjusting for his family. He ends up staying in the football player ends up staying with Taye Diggs because of just as how it happens to keep him from I guess violating their recruitment contract or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But zoning. There's a part, zoning laws. So basically, there's a part in there where Taye Diggs has another son who's been privileged, and they get arrested they get stopped by the police, and he is unfamiliar with, I guess, the black code of how you deal with the police as a young black male.
He didn't have the talk. Exactly. Mm-hmm. And so the other guy, Spencer, pretty much tells Taye Diggs, like, dude, you failed your son. I can't believe you haven't had the talk with him. So my question revolves around this talk. How do you explain racism, and not just racism, the challenges that we face as Black people growing up in America as youth, when you get into your careers and stuff like that? How do you explain to them that same conversation? Because I don't know if it ever worked for us. You have to be 10 times as good just to be recognized, to be equal to what they're doing. So how do you have that conversation with your kids? So my answer is going to sound extremely similar to the one I gave on our ladies' first episode with Kristen Bracey. And that is, you can teach, like, I have plans to sit down with Jasmine. We're going to watch Roots together. We going to definitely, talk about, like what you said, for how she got to be 10 times. Well, since she's a black woman, she'll be a black woman. She's probably going to have to be 15 times as good as a white male in order to be equal to him in the job industry and in school and everything. So I'm going to do all that I can. But I think, in my opinion, racism you don't really grasp it until it hits you. So, like, I can show her videos of Birmingham and, everything that happened to us. I can show her all that, but I think you don't really grasp it until you're pulled over, until you're passed up on a promotion for somebody that you're clearly more qualified than. And so I think for the most part, I'll do my part, but that she won't fully grasp it until it happens to her. And then what I've told her, that's when it will become helpful, because she'll fall back on that hopefully and say, you know what, this is what my dad was talking about. This is what my mom was telling me about. Now I get it. So I think I can plant the seed and put it in her head on what to expect. But until it happens to her, she truly won't fully grasp it until, she's called a nigger or anything like that. So.
Yeah, kind of the same. I'm definitely going to take them to the Equal Justice Initiative, the Lynching Museum down in Montgomery. We got the Civil Rights Museum right here in Birmingham. We can go to 16th Street Baptist Church. Like, we have that history here that we can show them and we can talk to them about. I mean, I can tell her the stories of how I got passed over for a promotion, that I had to go to HR just to get a branch manager position, like all of those things. I can tell her, but I agree with Buff. You're not going to really feel it until you feel it. We can sit and watch Boys in the Hood and see when they pull Trey over and everything. I mean, that may happen or it may help, because then they know about that talk and we're going to have that talk and I'm going to tell them how to interact with cops and everything. But the thing about it is they have to experience it themselves. And the hardest part for me is we're in a white area. I mean,
also,
so it's like Sophie and Ollie go to a predominantly white elementary school right now. They're going to be, and as they matriculate through the Hoover system, they are going to be in those predominantly white situations where they're always going to be the really, really, really minority. And so the hard part is going to be them having those blinders on where they think, oh, that's just normal because that's how everybody kind of interacts. And so trying to teach them that that's not normal and when to call it out and when to let it slide. Because the thing about it is, unfortunately, as Black people, we have to let a lot of stuff slide or we're not going to get ahead. If you go around calling out every little kind of racist undertone or microaggression or everything like that, you are going to be the angry Black person in the office and you're never going to get promoted because now you're not playing the political game of the workplace and stuff like that. So we gotta teach them to identify it and how to handle it, when to handle it, when to address it. The perfect example, Ferg, you talked about All-American. One of the last episodes, they had another run-in, and
I haven't seen it, bro. You about to spoil it?
No, but this is kind of important to talk through this one. So I hate to spoil it for you, but the thing about it is, what the situation happened. His younger brother was with him, and they kind of got into it with the cops. And at the end, the younger brother almost ran. And it was like this very serious moment where he grabbed him. He was like, "You never run." Yeah. And so, being able to teach our kids that in the area that they're in now is going to be hard because, just like you talked about, the ones that grew up in those privileged areas, our kids are those privileged kids. And so we have to be able to teach them and show them that this is the area you're in is not the norm. So if you go and you interact with cops, if you're down in a predominantly black area or a poor area, you can't expect the cops to interact with you like that. So there's that too.
Well, and I think you just brought something up. This is not the norm. And we talk about watching movies and videos. Is there more we can do? Do we fail to take them back to where we grew up and show them, you're saying, show them what the norm or the norm in the white person's mind or the white cop's mind is. When they see you, they see this. They see somebody that grew up around the corner from Bessemer. They see somebody that grew up in Whistler. They see, when they think of black people in Mobile, this is what they see. When they think of black people in DC, they think of this. When they see black people in Birmingham, they're still thinking this. I'm in Houston. They probably, how do they know you're not from the third ward? How do they know you're not from this, and this? And that doesn't mean you're a bad person, but in their mind, there's a stereotype or an image that they have. They have an identity for you regardless of who you are. And most times they're not going to get to know who you are. They have an idea what a young black male, a young black female is about. And there's a part in that, and I haven't gotten through that full episode, but it was a part where he had to take his son back. He's like, why didn't you ever take me back to Crenshaw? Because like being there and seeing like, hey, this is what they see. This is what there's really going on. Like we are the minority of the minority. We were talking about, I was with my lamplighters the other day and we were talking about,
I like that one. Minority of the minority.
Hey, that's a shirt. It is what it is. But the thing about it is we look at ourselves, I grew up in, I don't even know when I was young, I didn't even know what class systems were. We were all just, they got money. We don't. There was no upper middle class, no middle class. It was just, it was what it was. Our kids are fortunate. They don't have to worry about a lot of stuff we did. So they also don't learn a lot of life lessons we did. We knew. And, and I still was, I guess, somewhat privileged and unprivileged compared to a lot of people I was growing up around, but we still knew what was what. So I think for me, an example I was looking at earlier today was because I think what happens, a lot of people think, well, we've come so far. We've had a black president and all that speech, that whole spiel that black people can do anything. That is very true. But the chips are stacked against us. So I look at the world as almost like a video game. So think about knowing that you as a black man are playing this game. What's the highest level of Madden? What, all Madden?
All Madden.
All Madden.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you're playing this game at all Madden. The other person's playing this game as a rookie. Like, it's the same obstacles. Yours are just bigger. The players move a little faster. The play clock works a little faster. Like you don't get the same calls. It's the same game. It's just stacked against us. It's just going to be a little harder for you because of the things we're going against. And I think maybe even being uncomfortable showing them where we come from, putting them back in that situation. Like this is, taking them down to Finch Ave, which is Gloria York, and my drive, and taking them down to the bottom in Mobile. And like, this is what they see when they see us.
I think the other 2 points too, man, is in addition to the talk, is telling them you damn near have to be perfect. Like, even when we're victims of a police shooting or any type of wrongdoing, they dig into our background. Well, he did smoke a little weed. Well, he did get caught for stealing a Baby Ruth at the convenience store one time. So, like, not only do we have to be better, but we almost have to be perfect. And I think that's why so many black parents are so tough on their kids, because they're pretty much saying, hey, you can't mess up. You can't have DUIs and snort cocaine and grow up to be the 43rd president of America. Like you can't do that kind of stuff. And so that, and we also have to teach them the subtle racism. So it seems like the only racism that white people like to acknowledge is if somebody is in a white hood, burns a cross on your front lawn, and yells nigger at you 3 times. And even then, they may try to make an excuse for them, like they probably was drunk, just trying to have a good time, man. So, like, that's not really what racism is today. It's very, very subtle. And I tell you, we definitely got to try to prepare our kids for that. Like, there's a lot of subtle racism that will passively aggressively just hit you in the face. And if you're not, you know, I talked about how naive I was when I took my Timberland off that day at Shoe City. That wasn't even subtle. So I don't want my daughter to go through that. I want her to know it. And like you say, Razi, not necessarily always have to call it out and address it. You don't want to be the angry black person, I guess, but you still up on game. You still know it when you see it, no matter how subtle it is.
That's it. It's playing chess instead of checkers. So we have to teach our kids when to use that, what to do, how to handle it. If you're in the workplace and you're getting these microaggressions and you're getting all this stuff, are you documenting that? Are you saying the time and the date and what actually happened and everything like that? So then when you go and you take it to HR, you can say on this date, this happened, on this date, this happened. Here's my pattern. Here's everything that happened and everything. So now if you want to have a EEOC claim or a discrimination claim, you've got stuff to back it up. So you ain't got to say nothing to nobody sometimes until you're ready to do that, if that's what it is. Sometimes you have to address it head on, but you just helping them to understand, like you say, peep game, just know that it's happening. Know that you're not going to be looked at the exact same, and that's okay. And so knowing the scenario, knowing what is going to happen or what you're facing, and then being able to have a game plan around it instead of, you know, being the baby Yoda where you just got your mouth open like, oh my God, I didn't know this was coming. Like it's coming, you know.
Use it as motivation to beat. Not physically, but, you know, in the field, be better.
And that's good. That, you know, I think the difference in our parents and our generation was the fact that they told us about it. And I guess that was, they didn't have the skills or the knowledge to learn how to deal with it. Like, how do you overcome it? Like, it was, you got to be 10 times better. Okay. And do what? How do I approach it? Outside of, you got to speak a certain way, you got to look a certain thing. But like you're saying, hey, in the workforce, make sure you're, you know, not only you got to play the game. It's chess, not checkers. But you definitely have to be out. You have to look professional, more professional than everybody else. You have to do these things, but at the same time, make sure everything's documented, paper trail. You know, you need to know the HR back and forth at your at your company. Byron's pouring up another glass, by the way, people.
This is gonna be it.
Yeah, that was before we started. He was saying that was his last glass. So this is your last glass.
I just wanted to add a little more to the last glass.
So the overpour from last.
Oh yeah. If you never finish that,
out, bro.
If you never finish that glass, it's still the last glass, right?
Hey, the me, yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. But no, man, I just get nervous that my kids are the world we're growing up in, or they're growing up in. You know, we have some optimists that think it's gonna get better. Bam, my baby just brought me my gin and tonic. Can I get a line with that, baby? I love you. You heard her?
What's she saying? Wow. She got a mumble.
Oh man, you have to edit that out. But
anything else on that one, man?
I don't know, man.
I have a question on when do you have to? Oh, because you know, when I went to the Lynching Museum, I think I talked about it in a previous episode, and I was like, I want to bring the kids back, and it hit me, and it was so powerful for me. I was like, I don't think they're ready at 5 and 6. But what ends up happening is you keep saying, I want to shield them. And you push it off and you push it off and you push it off. And then all of a sudden they're 16 years old driving in Hoover too late and they getting pulled over. And I hadn't had to talk with them yet. So like, when do y'all think is the appropriate time?
I think there's multiple talks though. I think that you just made me realize it. It's multiple talks. We want to have that one talk and it's like, all right, we had to talk. You're good. it's, talking about those things. We've all talked about our kids going to, especially you and me, Byron, our kids going to school, and both of us having daughters who are considered of the darker hue and dealing with mild experiences with I would call racism or colorism, at least, and just starting to have that conversation now that, hey, everybody's not a good person. There's going to be people that can be out there going to judge you on this. So just, right now, my daughter's 4, almost 5. I think I can have that conversation with her on that. Now talking, riding with the police and all this, that's years from now. But I think you need to break up those talks. The EJC, I think EJIC, that might be something that's later on down the line. We'll be up there this summer with my lamplighters to do that. They're all high school students, and we're hoping that's not too much for them. It's a big thing. So maybe it's having small steps, maybe taking them to the African American History Museum and just seeing certain things and talking about Black pride. And, and I think that's also something just, I think having that Black pride, and because I don't want to make it unfair where we're just making them scared. Or making them scared and mad. Police might kill you, and because there's a lot of people out there that killed other Black people. Now it's just like, but there's also good things, a lot of good things to our people, our culture, our history. Here's some things. And then on the back end, there's some other things. People haven't always seen us this way. People don't always see our beauty. And then you kind of go into that. So, it's probably going to be broken down to multiple conversations. I think it's something that should be ongoing, especially as they mature, because you might have a conversation with Sophie that Ollie's not ready for.
Yeah.
It isn't necessarily we have to sit down and have the talk. It might be situations.
True. Okay. True.
So.
And just to add on to his answer, I don't think there's a wrong answer, man. Like, had you spoken to Sophie and Ollie, and let's say they were too young to understand it, I don't think there's any harm. And then like Ferg said, you're going to have multiple talks with them anyway. So you just, whenever you decide to, you feel like they don't get it, come back in another year or two and just keep doing it. And I guarantee you, they will remember some talk to them about, even if they didn't fully understand it, they will remember some of that and start beginning to piece it together. So I actually don't think it's a wrong answer, man. I got a co-worker, Corey Cumberland. He has 2 young daughters, and they get it. They saw all the nuances in Black Panther. They just wasn't caught up in the whole superhero aspect. They saw a lot of what was going on within that movie. And his daughters are one of his daughters is my daughter age, and the other one is even younger. So it just depends, man. There's no wrong answer to it, though.
Yeah. So, but I don't know about not being Black or angry. What Adansi said on American Gods, he was like, "Anger get done." So,
trust me, I stay angry. I'm on my Incredible Hulk type stuff, but I'm saying I don't want them just to be angry.
Yeah,
being angry and scared, but not having a goal. Once again, it's awareness. Awareness is not a remedy.
Mm-hmm.
We have to figure out okay, now you're mad, you're upset. What are you going to do with it?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I always say I'm one step away from being a Black nationalist. So who's up next?
Buff, you want to go?
I'll go. Ferg made me change my question because I had a racial question as well. So I'm gonna.
That's why I went last week.
So I'm gonna say that for next week or a couple of weeks later. So as you know, we just had a huge celebrity that died earlier today, Kobe Bryant. But I want to talk about a different aspect of celebrities. And it seems like, and it's not just limited to Black people. I think white people do this as well. It seems like for whatever celebrity that you so-called love or just really enjoy their work, people have this habit of, I like to call it caping, but AKA taking up for them. Like you would think that celebrity is a member of their family the way they take up for them. What is it about us as people that makes us so eager to if Dwayne Wade has a bad game and somebody says something about him, hey, man, shut up, you couldn't do it. Or if we saw how people were taking up for R. Kelly, we saw how people were taking up for Bill Cosby. Like at the end of the day, those men don't know us. They don't know you. What is it about people that make us want to defend celebrities like they're our mama or our brother? Like, is it something like within us? Do we see ourselves in them? And therefore, when that person is getting attacked, it's almost like you're getting attacked. You guys have any thoughts on that, on why we're so eager to do that?
Go ahead, Ferg.
I think it might be because, especially I think maybe our generation or even older, we didn't see a lot of positivity in the black and like especially in media and stuff like that. Like so the few people that we can hold fast to is the people we take up for. I wanted to be a Cosby kid, even though now I look back at it, they were lame as hell. But but growing up, it gave me that drive. Like I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to have that brownstone life. Like I wanted to be the Cosbys. And so when you take that away and you take away part of my childhood or things that made me think or strive to be better, be it Bill Cosby or a musician or something that I cling to as positive memories, I think that's probably it. It's more so. And I think more so now, and maybe I didn't pay attention. I think trolling has grown exponentially. I think it's more of a younger generation thing. So we didn't grow up people talking like that. We didn't grow up where people were trolling as hard. We might debate, like, okay, no limit over cash money over no limit. Like we could debate about stuff, but it wasn't the trolling that it is now because we saw good in something and we clung to it. Now we're looking for any chink in the armor with this trolling environment, trolling world we stay in. We're like sharks in the water. Like we smell blood and we're attacking. And so I think that's just a big part of it. I don't know. I think they're almost like family. Like Bill Cosby is almost like family. The Cosby Show was one thing, different world, made me want to go to HBCU. So to see all that crumble is huge for me. Now, do I take up for Bill Cosby? No. I mean, considering what he did, I have a daughter, I have a wife, I have sisters. That's a horrible thing. You can't go around doing what you do. So I don't know. I think it's also, we grew up, even think about our black families. We defend so much crazy stuff. Think about, that uncle that everybody knows that you just don't leave your kids around. We don't address things. And now I think the younger generation is putting things on blast. They're not accepting things as much. So we're very accepting people, which is a downfall.
Yeah.
And I think it's a little bit of going back to just people don't know how to communicate. Fans are going to defend their fandom, right? Whatever they're a fan of, you're going to defend them. Mm-hmm. And I think what ends up happening is, when you can't make a valid argument, you devolve into mudslinging, your mama and just be like, well, you ugly. Like, whatever it is, I don't care. You ugly. Like, so, and that's what those folks that talk about, you couldn't do it and everything like that. I'm also not in the NBA. Of course I can't do it. But the people that are in the NBA, he is sucking it up versus them. So, we could be, criticizing a single game that somebody had. D-Wade, he was off his game tonight, yada, yada, yada. And then people want to try to come back and just defend him because they're like, oh, you're attacking my fandom, because they can't methodically think and actually have nuance in their discussions and everything like that. They can't say overall D-Wade is a great player. Overall, MJ was a good player, but they had chinks in their armor. I said,
I'm just playing, man.
I'm just saying, like, the thing about it is, you can talk in general that somebody that's great and still say, hey, something wasn't good about them. They had an off night. This thing doesn't work well with for me. So that's when you can actually get into a nuance of a debate. And like I said before, people just need to learn how to debate instead of argue. And I think that's a lot of what's happening with people trying to defend is they're taking what you're saying about an instance or something, and they're blanketing it across the entirety of that person's career or something like that.
But you're negating these trollers, though, huh?
I was gonna say, you disagree?
No, I agree with you partly, but I feel like we're giving people too much credit. We have some people that just like to troll. Like there's
there's people that like, I'm gonna be negative. I'm gonna be the devil's advocate all the time, no matter what.
Whether you like LeBron or not, like to be able to call this man trash. Like, that's just trolling. Like, the dude is just he's one of the most talented basketball players ever to touch a basketball, and you're calling him garbage, or you go out of your way to find things about him, and it's like, come on, dude, like you're reaching, like, compared to MJ.
I don't think that's a troll. Like, a troll has to actually know that they're doing something to piss you off. Like, they're specifically doing it to make you mad and to go against what you're saying. So it's not necessarily that people are trolling when they call LeBron trash. Some people think he's trash. They're wrong, and it's an asinine assumption. But I really feel like some people are like, he's trash.
But how do you hear about them? They're loud. The LeBron haters are loud. They're gonna go out of their way. They're gonna find an article. They're gonna find a forum talking about LeBron, and they go in and find ways to dissect it. And I just think it's just a different generation where we're just people have always talked noise. I'm not saying this is something new, but I just feel like people are just the squeaky wheel gets the oil. I don't have to be positive to get likes. I don't have to be positive to get followers. Like, my thing is, all I got to be is
you being positive probably won't get you likes. That's the problem.
I got to be relevant.
Like,
so me going against the grain.
Media, right? It's you won't get media attention, or the media isn't going to suck up all the positive stuff. We can have 30 million marches where nothing happens and, nobody gets arrested and we clean up behind ourselves. But the first one that it turns to violence and somebody gets arrested, boom, that's the one that hits the media. The media is going to suck up anything that's sensational.
But I feel like I want to hear your thoughts on this.
So, as you know, or you may not know, because I think Ferg, I don't think you're a Tyler Perry fan at all, but he just dropped a movie. Let me finish. He just dropped a movie on Netflix called A Fall from Grace, and the opinions on it were very, very divisive. And I just want to read y'all this post, man, real quick. Tyler Perry don't care if y'all like that movie or not. He filmed it in 5 days and got a whole bag from Netflix. Y'all work at McDonald's for 5 days and get $73 and unlimited Coke products. Half of y'all watching on somebody else's account anyway. Like, that's funny. First off, that is funny.
That is hilarious.
But Tyler Perry has his own studio opened up in Atlanta. He don't need you taking up for him. So that's what, I just think it's crazy. I think a lot of what Razi said, I agree with. And I also think that we take it personally, even before the personal insults that you mentioned, Razi. I think we take it personally when someone attacks something that you're a fan of, because you internalize it as this person is attacking what I like. Therefore, they're saying my taste is bad. My taste isn't bad. Let me tell them why my taste isn't bad. And before you know it, you got it back and forth. So I think they feel like they're taking it personally. But I don't absolve myself of it. I've done it. Lord knows when the Big Three was in Miami, I was on almost every post that criticized them, like defending them. So I've done it before too. But I do step back sometimes. It's like, it's crazy. Like, these celebrities, half of them don't even know about these remarks and posts, man. And we just out here just fighting one another.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I think it's just interesting. A lot of times you're debating because it's so hard to understand how somebody has this viewpoint. Mm-hmm. It's like, how did you say what?
Yeah. When they say LeBron is trash, you feel like you have to make them like. I totally disagree. You have to let them know that. It's like
or when I used to say Game of Thrones wasn't that good.
Yeah, exactly.
And what season are you on, Buff?
Oh, I finished.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's good.
And that's my thing, you know.
I had to get past that first episode. That's all.
Yeah, but it's just. But you know, when I was going through premarital counseling, they said that's all arguments are. It's just selfish opinions of each that each person has. That's all it is. It's just an opinion, and so. Not just in that, this happens in marriages and any relationships, is when you hit on it, when you disagree with me, it's not the fact that you disagree with me. I take offense because now you're challenging the way I think.
Yes.
A lot of times it's my upbringing, especially when it comes to spouses. Like, why'd you do that? And so you telling me my mama was wrong telling me to do this? You know, like now you're thinking about everything that so that's what's happening. So you're more so defending the way you were brought up, the way you think, rather than the actual. Think about the last argument. You said like when you go deep down, it's like I'm 39 years old. So if I've been thinking this for 39 years, you're telling me I've been thinking wrong for 39 years? Hold up, player. Like, that ain't even about to roll like that. You ain't even made it at 39 yet. So, you know, like, that's how you think in the same way. You know, when you're looking at somebody that you don't even know, that you might have respect. And especially if you throw in, like, if it's a black or white issue and it's, some white person says this, I'm like, I expect you to say that because you would never think this is in this. Let me school you on what's real. And your thought process is always what's real. So,
and I'm a work in progress, man. I no longer shake my head at my wife when she orders her steak well done. And
sometimes you got to teach them, though. You got to teach them. There's some things that are right and wrong.
And how do you like your beef jerky?
I'm praying for those that think flats are better than drums. Like, I'm praying for y'all.
Hold on,
I'm praying for you.
No. So hear me out. I'm an equal opportunist. Like, I'm not going to order all flats. But I think it's how the chicken is prepared. So if you give me a nice Southern fried pizza chicken, a wing, drum every day, baby. Drum all day. Like, you can give me just 1,000 drums. But if I'm doing if I go to a wing place and we're doing like buffalo wings or something like that, it's something about the closeness of the bone and the flat. Like it like a lot of times it's too, hey dog, it's too.
The flat has more flavor to it because
especially when
it's got a lot more skin. And so I think that's a little bit what
when it's a buffalo wing or I get some lemon pepper or something like that.
Oh man.
So Buff, this past weekend they just had they have a wing wars. FAMU has a wing wars in Atlanta. They call it Hunger Games. It's real, dog. Like they print up shirts, team wings, team flat, all kind of stuff. And it raises money for charity. Scholarships. But it's real. So we're gonna have to make it down to Hunger Games. Let's try to do it next year. Have Bruce set us out for Hunger Games next year.
Hopefully by then I'll convince y'all that drums are better. Go ahead, Razi.
No, if you do, yeah, we're going
I agree with you. Drums are better. I'm just saying. I think flats they have more sauce on them. A lot of times they have a lot more sauce on them. That's true.
It gets in the creases and stuff like that.
The drum just has that meat to it. The meatiness of the drum.
I'm telling you, if you go to
the creases.
Yeah, like if Maggie is frying some fried chicken and I get a wing, I'm devouring that drum. That drum is like you almost say that for last. You kind of go through the flat, do what you do, and then you that drum is perfect. But when you go to a wing spot, you want some lemon pepper, some buffalo, honey barbecue, teriyaki, whatever it is, it's something about that flat, man. It has all the flavor right there. The skin / sauce to meat ratio is better in the flat. It is. It's scientific, bro. You can Google it. You can Google it, dog. I'm just telling you.
All good, man. All good.
All right. So I guess it's on me to bring it all around. I was going to get a little bit racial as well, so it's funny that all of us kind of thought through these questions. So I'm gonna switch it up again too. But I mentioned Boys in the Hood.
You know which movie that is. I
do know which movie that is.
Tell me your Boys in the Hood. Tell me your version.
I know Trey. I know Furious Styles. I know Ice Cube. I know what Boys in the Hood is. Like I told y'all, sometimes you just got to play to the character, right? So anyway, Boys in the Hood or Menace to Society? Which one was better and why?
Menace to Society. It was better because it didn't spend all that time. Boys in the Hood spent a lot of time on them as kids. First off, it's amazing that I had this answer so fast.
Like ready.
Yeah, bro, it's no brainer.
But Boys in the Hood spent a little bit too much time on when they were kids, and I get it. They were setting it up for how they grew up. But for me, if nothing else, because I don't want to have a long answer, if nothing else, the part with Samuel L. Jackson at the beginning of Menace to Society, that puts it over Boys in the Hood alone, man. But, I mean, they're very similar. Both have sad endings. But for me, Menace to Society is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's the first movie I cried on, Shut Your Mouths. But it's a little bit better than Boys in the Hood to me.
I have to agree with you on that. I think Menace Society is grimier. Like it's just grittier. Like it's nonstop. Like I'm in the hood. You know, Boys in the Hood, although it was a hood movie, it was for the most part, it was lighthearted until the end. You know, like it was just, you know, you got the Menace Society, you got a robbery, you got all kind of stuff. You got niggas getting beat up. It's going on from the get-go, out the gate. And the development of Kane, and I think that was also kind of part of it. The development of Kane over the whole movie, and O-Dog is probably one of the most memorable characters in Black
Nightmare. You said it.
Yeah, in Black cinema, dog. You know, that whole cast was just, it was perfect.
His character was so bad, Ferg, that it made Kane look good. Like,
yeah,
you look at that movie, you think Kane was a good guy. Kane's so dope. Kane shot her brother. He stole some rims. Like, he wasn't good at all. But compared to O-Dog,
are we talking about the same movie? Kane was a hero.
Yes.
Kane was a hero.
He had a nice watch. Run it.
Oh man. I said with cheese, motherfucker.
Yeah, I was gonna say he didn't just steal rims, he got a double burger with cheese too.
Oh man. I mean, Boys in the Hood it was more of a lighthearted version. If you skip the Ricky scene, you can almost take your kids to see that. Think about it. Like,
I will give Boys in the Hood these type of props right here, because I think did it come out before South Central or after South Central? Either way, when you historically talking about those type of movies, I hold Boys in the Hood up as the movie that kind of like started it all and paved the way for a movie like Menace to Society. So
I don't remember the order. So what was the order?
I do know Boys in the Hood came out before Menace to Society. I think it was like 90 or 91, and Menace to Society was like 92, 93. Whether it came out before South Central, I'm not sure, but South Central didn't have the impact like Boys in the Hood did. So historically, when we're talking about cinema, Black cinema, I definitely put Boys in the Hood as like the godfather of those type of movies. And then Menace to Society, which I wish had Tupac in there, but Tupac messed it up. But so I do give it his props there. And, John Singleton, who, Snowfall to this day, his work is still being praised. We all fans of Snowfall. So I do give Boys in the Hood his props. But for me, Menace to Society, man, like Ferg said, just watching Kane progress throughout the movie and everything, it was dope.
For me, the thing about it is Menace to Society was a good gangster movie, like, you know, a hood gangster movie, but Boys in the Hood had a bigger vision. And so I like Boys in the Hood that tells when Furious Styles is standing in front of that development sign and he's talking about gentrification and talking about how, you know, it's a gun store and a liquor store on every corner and all that. And he's like, we got to do better. Like, man, the story of Menace to Society truly does show you all the nuances of the hood, or not Menace to Boys in the Hood, shows you the nuances of the hood, hardworking people trying to make it in there, and folks that are really, you know, there because they want to be there and make the neighborhood better. Whereas Menace to Society just followed Kane, O-Dog, you know, the business side of it. And so for me, I like Boys in the Hood better because you can take your kids to it. I like it because it's got a larger story and a larger arc than just, you know, two dudes in the hood going through kind of, you know, doing their thing.
Well, here we go. You're talking about something I like, so I'm offended. No. I love both of them. I would slightly disagree with you on that, Razi. I wouldn't say Boys in the Hood had a bigger story. It had a different story. I think Menace to Society was more or less focusing on the cycle and how it continues. So that's why they show Kane's dad, who is a drug dealer, who killed people. And then Kane grew up to be similar to that. And then it wasn't his stepson, but Ronnie's son, Pernell's son, was seeing Kane do that and wanted to play with the gun and stuff. And he was about to grow up and be that. So I think Menace to Society was more or less showing you the cycle. Boys in the Hood was more or less showing you what causes it. Why are there dope boys like that?
They both have their cycle, and I'm glad you broke it down like that. Menace to Society, because I had this debate with somebody. It's like Menace to Society. Even the title was great because who was the menace? Like, was it O-Dog? Was it Pernell? Was it Kane? Like it's all these people are growing. Like you said, it's a cycle. Like they all see us as a menace to society. Like it was just a cycle. But I think it focused on. To your defense, Razi, it kind of focused on just it didn't show the kid that was scared to go to school but was making all A's that probably stayed next door to Kane. Like it was just that one group, like it's that cycle. Like this family, this group of kids, they're gonna be bad. They're gonna do what they do. And Boys in the Hood, I can actually relate more to Boys in the Hood. You know, like I felt like Trey a lot. Like I'm growing up around these D boys and stuff like that, and people who saw me like I was cool about my neighborhood, but they saw more in me. Like, dog, this is not the life for you. Like you grew up around that, you know, and so I relate to it, you know. And I think it shows the dichotomy of maybe a low income black neighborhood struggling in the hood. But it showed that, you know, there's single mothers out there. There's single fathers out there. There's people that are trying to teach your kids the right way. Like he's this close to getting in the
pregnancy.
He's this close to getting getting into some trouble. Like the luck of the draw sometimes pull you out. I think to me, the best part of the story is there's that relationship between Doughboy and Trey at the end, where it's like, I respect you enough, or I see more in you than you probably see. Like, this isn't for you. And that's real. Like, there's people that I grew up around that saw that same thing in me. Like, this isn't for you. You know, and I wanted to prove myself. I wanted to be down. Because growing up black in Mobile, where I was growing up, like, that's what was attractive. Like, you wanted to be down for your hood. You wanted to be part of the inner circle. And so I relate more to it. But I think because I was relating to Boys in the Hood, when I saw Menace to Society, like back in the 90s, when everybody wanted to be almost a thug or something like that, that movie was just dope, man. It was just, I think it was so grimy. That's what I said earlier. It was so gritty and grimy that it was just like, man, that's crazy. Like this Boys in the Hood is not that far fetched. So it's kind of like, yeah, but this is grimy.
Fun fact. The reason my first car was a Nissan Stanza was because of that Nissan Maxima. They stole, tried to steal. I couldn't quite afford a Nissan Maxima. The Stanza looked similar to it, so that's why I got that. Yeah.
I definitely wanted a Maxima. Hula, man, you can ask Hula. That was my dream car.
That joint look clean, bro.
There's some Dayton's on it. So while we're on it, best 90s hood movie.
That's it for me.
Menace to Society?
Matter of fact, I hate saying this in front of people, but Menace to Society is my favorite movie of all time. Judge me if you like. But that is my favorite movie of all time. I know it word for word. And it had one of the best soundtrack songs, Straight Up Menace by MC8, by the way. It's one of the best soundtrack songs of any movie ever. If you listen to that song, you're pretty much watching the movie. The song tells you the whole movie.
I'm about to watch it now.
Yeah. And go and listen to Straight Up Menace. Apple.
So over New Jack City.
Mm-hmm. New Jack City, man. Oh man!
Don't say it's overrated. Please don't say it's overrated.
I'm not gonna say it's well. I guess it's similar to that. Y'all just blame it on the Remy. It's a little. I don't want to say cartoonish.
Yeah, it's outlandish.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, it's a little bit out there for me. You know. So, I mean.
It shows you
Belly. We all say the Belly sucked.
Yeah, like New Jack City for me was
still good.
The Hollywood version of the hood. You know, it's like, I got to make sure I intricately weave all these different things in, and I got to have a crackhead, and I need the drug lord, and he got to be over the top. You know, I mean, for me, you know, Wesley Snipes playing, what's his name in New Jack City?
Nino Brown.
Yeah, Nino Brown is almost the same as when he played that producer in I Am Dolomite. Like, that's how kind of over the top and outlandish he is when you talk about everything. If y'all ain't seen I Am Dolomite.
Nino Brown was dope as hell, though. Like, Nino Brown was hilarious.
He's an iconic character. I give him that.
Yes.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. That's what they were. I think that's what Hollywood was looking for. They were trying to make. They were kind of scripting iconic character instead of like with your Menace to Society and your Boys in the Hood. It was a story that made the character iconic.
Also, that fight between him and Ice-T at the end. I just love how it's nighttime, and then when they bust out the window, it's daytime.
It happens like that, man.
It's like in a matter of minutes, it's bright and sunny out.
Yeah, man. It was just. And Pookie was great in that.
I was just saying, like, it's just like, you know, they did that. It's just like Tyler Perry. They can't say nothing about Tyler Perry when a girl put her slippers on and then ran down the stairs and didn't have her slippers on afterwards, or the wig. Like that, the things they talk about.
Are you talking about the Tyler Perry movie?
Yeah,
you watched it
so bad.
You watched it, Razi?
I've already said what I had to say about the movie, and I don't want his fans coming for me or the show, so I'm just gonna leave it at if you liked it, cool. And if you didn't like it, that's fine too. I'm happy for Tyler Perry.
I'm very happy for Tyler Perry. What I'm saying is, we don't have to feel like we can't call him out on some bad writing or some bad storyline here and there.
But I mean, that's actually crazy because it's on so many different things, not just Tyler Perry. My thing, Tyler Perry, I don't watch anything Tyler Perry, point blank, but I respect his hustle. I respect his grind. I respect him as a businessman. And so top of my list for that, like, but I don't have to like what you're doing. Like, it can be like a musician. Like, I don't have to be a fan of him, but the impact you make, the stuff you do, I got to respect it. But I just get tired of not being able to have an opinion on certain things because, you know, like you say, you offend people, or, oh, you're not a woman, you can't say this, or you can't have an opinion on this or think about this. It's like, when do we have dialogue? I think open dialogue and real dialogue is what makes the world better. Like, that's how we get better at things. So, but I'm Tyler Perry, you know, it's just horrible. Just no.
I get it.
All righty.
Just horrible. Who's up next? And that's it, right?
That's it, man.
Okay,
I'm
that's
not the
what's
only
up.
one sipping. I'm not the only one sipping, folks. Ferg got him a gin and tonic.
Yeah, my mojito's gone. My wife made me mojito, and now I'm on my gin and tonic.
There you go.
All right. Well, it's been another memorable episode. Really appreciate you guys. Really appreciate you, Razi, for staying up and editing this show today. It is Sunday.
Good.
Oh.
All right, fellas. Tell them what's on your mind before we leave out. Anything you want to leave them with?
Nah, man. I just, Black History Month's coming up, so make sure you go out and be blackity black, as the T-shirt says, this coming month. But go out and volunteer. Go out and try to make a difference. Do something. Black History Month or Black History shouldn't be relegated to a month. But since it is at this point, and that's where all eyes are on us, go out and do something to show that, we are above just a month. We have a huge legacy, a huge history. Teach your kids about it. Take advantage of all the events and everything that happens over the coming month, and take your kids out to those things so they can learn more about their culture and their history.
So 2 things. One, appreciate you guys for checking out Razio's video that he posted on our page. I think it's up to it's got a great amount of views. It has some great advice. If you haven't seen it, go to our page right now and check it out. He's letting you know how to build your credit and make it better, just dealing with your finances. 2, we began the show talking about Kobe Bryant. And I just want to say one last thing. I talked about how not since Tupac died that I wasn't so much denial. I still remember. So I played for LaFleur, and I remember we played Viger that day, and I played for LaFleur. By the way, check out LaFleur's short stories by Sherman Cooley. But I remember we played that game, and I remember when we left, my mom told me, she was like, Tupac died. And I'm like, no way. You know what I'm saying? So I still remember that day vividly. I think many of you guys will remember this day vividly. Whether you were a fan or not, Kobe Bryant was important, not just to basketball, but the entire sports world. And that's why we began the show with it. And after Ferg's comments, we're going to end the show with a little bit of Kobe, man. So rest in peace to him. Send your prayers up to his wife, too, Vanessa. Like Razio said, she lost a daughter and a husband just like that. Can't imagine what she's going through, man. So that family is definitely going to need our prayers, man. Rest in peace to Kobe, one of the greatest to ever do it. Incredibly sad day. I hope we were able to take your mind off of that, laugh a little bit, maybe disagree with us on stuff, but still just take your mind off of it. So that's it, man. We appreciate you guys.
Well, thank you, Buff. I mean, you made my job a little easier, but I want you guys to, like Razi said, we're coming up on Black History Month. Take time to focus on our history. Make it more than Malcolm X. Make it more than MLK, Rosa Parks.
And slavery,
and just athletes. And so go learn some stuff. Go read. I challenge everybody to go read a black book from a black author that talks about things that have affected our black community. If you're looking for some, maybe we can post some books. If you guys have any, please post them. Recommendations on our page. Once you listen to this, I'll throw out there The Color of Law is a great book. I think, Buff, you put me on that one. Was that it?
I think you put me on it. Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Mm-hmm. Great book. Yeah. Talks about redlining and things like that, and how segregation has impacted the black community more than people think. But like Razi said, Black History is just not a month, but similar to Christmas and Valentine's, it's just a date or a time that we get to focus on our history. So once again, 3 Brothers No Sense, 6 Rules of Podcast. Listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, listen again. And I'm going to leave you with this. We're going to have a moment of silence. And next thing you'll hear be our boy Kobe.
All I can do here is just thank you guys. Thank you guys for all the years of support. Thank you guys for all the motivation. Thank you for all the inspiration. And, what's funny, the thing that had me cracking up all night long was the fact that I go through 20 years of everybody screaming to pass the ball. Then the last night, they're like, don't pass it. This has been absolutely beautiful, you guys. I can't believe it's come to an end. You guys will always be in my heart, and I sincerely appreciate it. No words can describe how I feel about you guys. And thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love you guys, and I love you guys. And my family. To my family, my wife Vanessa, our daughters Natalia and Gianna, thank you guys for all your sacrifice. For all the hours I spent in the gym working and training. And Vanessa, you holding down the family the way that you have. I can't, there's no way that I can thank you enough for that. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And what can I say? Mamba out.